Welcome to my YouTube channel, Family Drama Files. Please like, share, subscribe for more emotional videos.
The doctors thought my biggest battle would be cancer. They were wrong. The real fight started the moment I walked into my own house and heard my wife laughing on the phone. She believed I would not survive. She had already planned her future with another man. She even joked about moving in with him after my funeral. She never imagined I was standing just a few feet away listening to every word. That moment changed everything. I made one promise to myself. I would survive, not for revenge, not for money. I would survive for my little daughter. And before this was over, my wife would wish she had never underestimated a man who still had everything to fight for. My name is Jonathan. I was 59 years old when doctors told me I had an aggressive form of cancer. The treatment was brutal. Every chemotherapy session drained my strength. Some days I could barely walk from the hospital parking lot to my car. My wife Victoria came to the first appointment, but after that she always had an excuse. She said hospitals made her nervous. I believed her because love makes people ignore warning signs. Our daughter, Emma, was only 12 years old. She sat beside me every evening while I rested. She read books to me and told me stories from school. She was the reason I forced myself through every painful treatment. I wanted to watch her grow up. One afternoon, my chemotherapy session ended much earlier than expected. I decided not to tell anyone. I wanted to surprise my family. As I quietly opened the front door, I heard laughter coming from the kitchen. Victoria was speaking on the phone. She laughed and said, "Trevor and I are planning to move in together. Finger crossed my husband does not make it." My entire body froze. She continued saying, "Once everything is over, we can sell the house and finally enjoy life together." I could not believe what I was hearing. The woman who had promised to stand beside me in sickness was already planning my replacement. I quietly stepped back outside before she noticed me. I sat in my car for nearly an hour. I cried harder than I ever had during chemotherapy. Then something inside me changed. I wiped away my tears and made a decision. I refused to die. From that day forward, I followed every treatment exactly as my doctors instructed. I improved my diet. I exercised whenever my body allowed it. I attended counseling to stay mentally strong. Every painful day became another step toward proving her wrong. Meanwhile, I secretly met with an attorney. I updated my will. Every major asset would be placed into a protected trust for Emma. If anything happened to me, Victoria would have no control over the money. I also documented every suspicious financial transaction and gathered evidence of her relationship with Trevor. Months passed. My health slowly improved. My latest scans showed remarkable progress. My doctors smiled for the first time since my diagnosis. Victoria looked disappointed instead of relieved. She became colder each week. She rarely visited my appointments. She spent more evenings away from home, claiming she was working late. One evening, Emma quietly handed me her mother's old tablet. "Dad, I think you should see this." The device was still connected to Victoria's messages. There were hundreds of conversations between her and Trevor discussing vacations, money, and even how quickly they could move once I was gone. That was all the proof my lawyer needed. A few weeks later, Victoria walked into the house expecting another ordinary evening. Instead, she found divorce papers waiting on the dining table. She looked shocked. "How did you know?" I calmly answered, "Because I came home early one day." She begged me to forgive her. She claimed it was only fantasy and she never meant the words. But some words can never be taken back. The divorce moved quickly because of the overwhelming evidence. The court protected Emma's financial future exactly as we planned. Victoria left with far less than she expected. 1 year later, I rang the hospital bell celebrating the end of my treatment. Emma hugged me with tears in her eyes. "You kept your promise, Dad." At that moment, I realized cancer had not defeated me. Betrayal had not defeated me. I had survived both. Years later, Emma graduated from college with honors. She thanked me during her speech for teaching her that true strength is not found in perfect health. It is found in refusing to surrender when life gives you every reason to quit. As for Victoria, she watched our success from a distance. Trevor eventually left her for someone else. The future she sacrificed her family for disappeared just as quickly as it had begun. I never celebrated her pain. My greatest victory was simply living the life she believed I would never have. The greatest revenge was never anger. It was survival. Every chemotherapy session became another step toward the future they tried to steal. Betrayal may break your heart, but it does not have to break your spirit. As long as you keep fighting, there is always another chapter waiting to be written. And sometimes the people who count you out become the ones forced to watch you win. Please like and subscribe.